One of my personal favorite vaults in the entire Fallout franchise is Vault 108, affectionately known as the Gary Vault. Located in the wilderness of Fallout 3 lies a mysterious door hidden behind a large rock formation. When you first enter, you find a dead body on the ground, and even more interestingly, a vault door left completely wide open. As you step inside, you are met with a scene of horror. Blood marks cover the walls, furniture is thrown around, and the generators powering the vault are completely offline. You find dead Wastelander bodies of those trying to loot the facility all over. But the true horror comes when you find the body labeled Gary 42, after just being attacked by an extremely similar looking person, named Gary 33. As you make your way deeper into the vault, you slowly uncover that it is littered with an army of clones of this one man, Gary, all hilariously shouting at you the entire time.
Gary!
And if you have the courage to go even deeper into this twisted vault, you eventually uncover that a scientist was performing experiments of cloning, and even find a sectioned off female dorm blocked by tons of cabinets, suggesting that at one point they had barricaded themselves inside, presumably to protect themselves from men who can't stop shouting their name. The true intrigue, though, comes if you go to the Pentagon in Fallout 3, because it's here we can open top secret terminal information on multiple vaults, including Vault 108. The vault was originally set to perform experiments in cloning over a span of 30 years, but the generators were only spec'd for 20. We can find multiple reports of complaints from the vault residents, but all were shot down by the vault tech higher-ups. On top of this, the original overseer, which for those of you who don't know is essentially the leader of any vault, was known to have cancer, and we can find discussions estimating his death after 3 years, followed up by a journal entry stating, "These two events should combine to allow a proper catalyst that allows this project to continue as planned." So something was going on in this vault that most people living there weren't aware of, and it leads us to even more questions than it answers. What were these cloning experiments for? How did so many clones survive for so long? Were the experiments to find immortality? And why are there female dorms but no male dorms? Could it be, as YouTuber Oxhorn postulates, that the true experiment of the vault was putting a large group of females all with one cloned male to see what happens? Either way, it's clear that at some point the Gary clones started to become more and more aggressive, and with time eventually overtook the vault, which coincidentally we see in the Pentagon logs stocked with 3 times the normal amount of munitions. So maybe when the generators turned off, the Garys all grabbed the guns and started screaming Gary while massacring the entire vault and its inhabitants. A horrifying idea to think about. In Fallout 3, there's a particularly well hidden and unmarked quest called Our Little Secret that many people don't know about. It tells the story of the town of Andale, where the player character is told explicitly to stay away from. In the town, you're able to find a garden shed that leads to the entrance of the basement of the Smith's house, some of the local Andale residents. And it's here that you find a horrific scene, with multiple mutilated bodies cut up and displayed on cooking tables and racks. It's immediately clear to the player that this town is actually hiding a dark secret, and has been kidnapping local travelers and using their bodies to create a variety of dishes. If you confront the cannibals head-on, they will attack you on sight, but if you actually have the cannibal perk, you have a chance to sweet-talk them and join amongst their ranks. It's crazy to think that with all the horrors happening inside the vaults, it might be even scarier living outside them. After stepping into a variety of vaults in Fallout, it quickly becomes apparent that these underground lairs were host to some of the most dark and abhorrent tests in humanity's history. But one specific vault may have the most twisted experiment of them all. It's a vault that doesn't make any official appearances in the games, but it is canon based on one comic referencing it. It tells the story of one man who is tricked into entering the vault on his own, after which the door is quickly shut behind him. He pleads and screams to be let out, but no one answers his call. For months he keeps himself alive every day, praying that someone will find and rescue him, or that this sick experiment will finally come to an end. But But this waiting game goes on for over a year as this poor soul is slowly starting to lose his mind and see things. But just as he is about to lose all hope, he discovers a giant box of puppets. He starts to enact different plays and scenes with them, and it gives him a jolt of energy and excitement to finally again have new friends. These scenes slowly become more and more crazy though, and he starts to associate life with the puppets, hearing them speaking to him as he descends deeper and deeper into madness. So deep into his own delusion, the man develops split personality disorder and begins to communicate through each personality with multiple puppets. And it is around this time that we discover that the vault has actually been open this whole time. The man was merely too afraid to leave on account of the bombs outside. But with his newfound personalities, he gathers the courage and escapes the vault, meeting multiple ghouls, raiders, and wildlife. One of the raider groups he meets grows suspicious and scared of the man though, worried he is actually very violent and dangerous. And well, this turns out to be true, as a puppet tells the man to kill, and he does, slaughtering all the raiders and their families, showing that the vault was not protecting this man from the dangers outside, but that the vault was protecting outside from the dangers of this man. As to whether we will ever meet this sadistic human being in a future Fallout entry, we'll just have to wait and find out. In the Fallout universe, one of the most horrific things that can happen to a human being is called ghoulification. After the bombs fell and the entire world was covered in nuclear radiation, many people started to succumb to this horror. Some people are turned into a naked mole rat human hybrid that still retains full consciousness and ability for speech and communication, while others are transformed into what we know as feral ghouls, which act much more like rabid animals who want nothing but to kill. Throughout the games, we meet many of each type of these ghouls who have undergone ghoulification, but we never truly get an explanation as to what exactly is happening. For example, there's a small shack in Fallout New Vegas where we can find a man who is trying to turn himself into a ghoul to study the effects of this ghoulification, but in the process simply died from radiation poisoning. So why is it that some people die from the nuclear fallout, while others turn into ghouls with all their mental capacity still there, and even furthermore, then some people turn into nothing but rabid, huskless killers? The best guess we have so far is that there's some sort of gene that some humans in the Fallout franchise have that results in them turning into ghouls when exposed to radiation, while others simply are killed from its side effects. Some believe that all ghouls eventually turn feral and aggressive, while others think that even feral ghouls can be brought back. It spawns an interesting discussion into what ghouls really are, and whether they are truly still human or not, as well as what exactly is causing this process to occur.